Friends, a warm wishes on International Women's Day from the Department of English KKM College, Manwath. It is said that when a man leads, it's the leading of an individual. But when a woman leads, it's leading ahead of a society. The social, cultural and economical achievements of women in India and rest of the world, more particularly in last few decades, have helped to sustain the overall social development. As a responsible citizen, we should evoke their contribution of converting a structure of four walls into a value-based home is nothing but in a micro form constructing a nation based on values and ethics. So, a heartfelt salute to women in past and present for their lasting efforts in making this world a better place to live and rejoice. As a theme of International Women's Day this year goes as Choose to Challenge, the girl students of my college have chosen 5 autobiographies penned by 5 genius women writers with different identities or communities, but a specific genesis being a woman. I congratulate these 5 brave girls of my college for their initiative. The 5 autobiographies, which would be reviewed or introduced in a sequence of 5 days from 8th to 12th of March, are Story of My Life written by Helen Keller, I Am Malala of Malala Yousafzai, The View of My Life written by Urmila Pawar, Dare to Do written by Kiran Bedi, and My Story of Kamala Das. These 5 autobiographies, even though very different from each other in form, situation and meaning, but still hold a common thread binding them together. It is a woman's response to the odds of life. Her efforts in doing this indirectly motivate the reader to challenge the difficulties and overcome the mountain of problems. Even though this attempt of our students is very primary, but you would certainly support it with your comments and suggestions. Thank you.
Courage is not the absence of fear, but choosing what is more important than fear. Hello everyone, myself Vishakha Joshi. I am a B.A.S.Y second year student. Today I am going to review the book Dare to Do for New Generation written by Kiran Bedi, the real life story of India's first and highest ranked women IPS officer, Kiran Bedi. The first chapter, appropriately titled Never Say Die, Striding Forward Resolutely, opens with the narration of Republic Day Parade of the year 1975. The march passed by the contingent Delhi police was being led by a woman, none other than Kiran Bedi, for the first time in the history of organization. It also talks about the Protestant of Akhilesh, dealing with the Protestant of Akhilesh right from front with sheer guts, determination and courage. The chapter tries to highlight the role of her family, highlighting her parents' efforts is elaborately discussed, making of the Kiran Bedi. Her parents was much ahead of time. They sent their all 4 daughters to the best convenient school and encouraged them to participate in the various sports like tennis for their all-around development. Some important lessons she learned were time management and discipline. She always followed a fixed schedule and never wasted a single moment. Being focused and dedicated was something she followed since a tender age. She always said that people who don't take charge of their lives are lathi charged by time. The second and the third chapter delve into her college life, showing how joining NCC instigated her interest into khaki dress. She was completely in love with her uniform and took all pains to keep it neat and spotless. Also, her tremendous urge to utilize every bit of her time to derive maximum benefit has been quoted. Here we can say that allow your passion to become your purpose and one day it will become your profession. This chapter ends with the letter written by Kiran Bedi's mother and father, showing their utmost care and support towards her. Subsequent chapter discusses how pursuing tennis during her college days and her continuous strive for excellence, and ends with the self-explanatory inspiring note sent to her by her father when she performed low in the games. The chapter tries and highlights the role of tennis in her life, teaching the value of hard work and perseverance, and leading herself towards mental and physical fitness. Succeeding chapter covers some touchy moments in her life. Some of these moments are being hugged by Mother Teresa, towing away the car of the Prime Minister in her tenure as a traffic in charge for Asian Games in 1982. Her pain has been also been expressed as she was transferred to Goa despite her plans to remain in Delhi for her allying daughter just after the completion of games. The next chapter explores her novel method and her initiatives towards welfare activities. Her out-of-the-box approach helped her to bring down the crime rate. For effective interaction between public and police, the new system beat boxes were launched, which she was given the charge. The next chapter, Chapter 9, discusses how she acted with consciousness and gave rise to innovation and reformation, policing into practice. Later chapter talks about her strength, dealing with the serious problems like strike by lawyers community against her, insisting on her termination. As a trade, she fought them back. Subsequent chapters help us to understand her approach towards creating a fearless environment. Before taking the charge of a prison, Tihar jail, which condition was absolutely pathetic. Her turnaround strategy of converting a virtual hellhole into a much talked jail paid well. Next chapter, a separate chapter discusses about her. One chapter is devoted to the rampant corruption. Towards the end, one chapter talks about her fate of getting selected as a cop of the world by the United Nations. The second last chapter talks about her disappointment at being deprived by the post of the Commissioner, Delhi Police. This decision came from the higher authorities, but it did not stop her. She took a voluntary retirement, and after a good toil, she started working in welfare activities and anti-corruption activities. She worked in Goa, Delhi, Mizoram and Chandigarh. Everywhere she implemented her exemplary style of working, which is solely guided by her will. These are doubtlessly inspiring stories, but sometimes flawed by the self-promoting hagiographic approach. This writing style adds and gives rise to the ambivalence to the reader about their self-worth. The motive behind recommending this book is this book enthusiasm inspires motives today's young generation to clearly fame and achieve their goals without any fear and without getting carried away by the circumstances. Through her life story portrays the qualities such as honesty, diligence, dedication and commitment to one's own profession are vital if one wants to succeed in her life. The saga of her entire life depicts that there is no shortcut to success. Her biography shows various phases in her life where she turned challenges into opportunities, and how fearlessly she bungled to under pressure to bungle from some of the most influential people in the corridor of power. Her fearless attitude makes us to believe that hard work beats the talent, and if you are truly determined to your goal, it will definitely pay off. If life is tough, you have to show your life you are the toughest. As Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore said, you cannot cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. Kiran Bedi's life challenges are common, but your attitude and positivity make the difference. Kiran Bedi's life biography gave message to the youngster that work hard, believe yourself and stay disciplined. Thank you.